Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om.
Hey everyone, so happy you can join us for the Love Everyone podcast
with your hosts Govind Das and Rama Chandra Das.
A conversation of love, devotion, and walking the path of Bhakti Yoga.
Jai Hanuman, welcome everybody to the Love Everyone podcast. This is episode 10. I'm here with my brother Govind Das. Hey brother, where are you in the world today?
Hey brother, hey everybody, how y'all doing? I am at the Govardhan Eco Village here outside of Mumbai, about 3 hours north of Mumbai, India. And I've been here for about 11 days now, 12 days, and it's a very, very special place. Really, it's like it was started by Radhanath Swami, I believe about 15 years ago, and I've been wanting to get here for 15 years and heard the most wonderful things about it from so many people, and it's all true. Every single drop of it is true. It is just so special. The nature is gorgeous, and the temples are beautiful, and there is a Hanuman temple about 50 steps from where I'm staying. So 5 times a day, I stop and have Hanuman's darshan and sing a Chalisa. And what's so great is there's so many, this is basically a Krishna ashram. But there's so many Hanuman lovers here. It's great. And so you get to connect with a lot of locals who love Hanuman and who love Krishna. And as my dear sister that she's from Mumbai, but is sort of in charge of the women's empowerment here. They do so many great things for the community and the villages around. She says, Krishna is in the air here. Mm-hmm. And you just feel it. There's kirtan everywhere, the main temple. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but basically they made like a replica of Vrindavan, like a little mini Yamuna River flowing through, little mini Govardhan Hill, all the big temples. And it's really special, and it's in the deep, deep forest jungle. Kind of feels like maybe this is what Vrindavan was like thousands of years ago, because it sure ain't like that right now.
Let me ask you this. Are there monkeys there?
No monkeys.
No monkeys.
No monkeys. Delicious prasadam 3 times a day. I think I've gained like 15 pounds from eating so much ghee and fried foods, and you know how they do it. Krishna prasadam is like so good. Tons of kirtan, and it's been really, really special trip. I'm only here for 2 more days, but it's grown on me, and it's interesting. It's the monsoon season, so we weren't sure what it was going to be like, actually. Although Radhanath Swami said, come, it's a beautiful time of the year, but we weren't sure if there was going to be tons of mosquitoes and, what the rains were going to be like. And it's rained a lot, but it's off and on. It rains for 15 minutes and then it clears for 3 hours, and then it rains again for 30 minutes, and then it clears. And so it's just beautiful. And it's warm and it's just a very, very special place. So I was and it's grown every day. It's just, I've fallen more and more in love with this place. So it's very special.
Wow, what a blessing. Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah. How about you? I just saw that you were in New York at Times Square.
New York City.
Ramayana, big billboard, or what was
that? There's a 2-part movie coming out. I don't know anything about it. I got to look into it a little bit more, but there was a massive billboard the size of a building that was advertising a 2-part movie just called Ramayana, and it opens, the first part is Diwali 2026 and then Diwali 2027. So it's still, it's still a ways away, but you saw the video, right? It the it looks really amazing. So anyway, I,
And is
I don't
this
know if
gonna
it's
is this gonna show in America?
I don't well, I mean it must, I mean it must be, but they wouldn't be advertising it in Times Square if it wasn't, but it looked like a big budget film, and if they obviously if they have enough money to like spend on this huge billboard, electronic billboard, so it's like one of those video billboards that you see in Times Square, and and it was just this awesome visual of a Ram and a Ravana, and they're facing off with each other, and I've always dreamed of seeing like a proper Ramayana, like meaning because there's so to do the Ramayana right, you would need the major motion picture special effects budget, because in Ramayana, like even the just Ram and the archers have these most magical weapons, like they're called the Devastras. So you can infuse an arrow with like a mantra, so like maybe you infuse the arrow with like the mantra for the Agni Astra. Agni is the fire god, and you infuse that arrow with that mantra, and then you fire the arrow, but instead of just one single arrow, it like separates into like 1,000 fireballs, and it can kill 1,000 demons all at once, and but when you see Ramayanas, up till now, they've typically been like super low budget kind of Bollywood things, and the people are got their like, cardboard swords and, just cheesy, no special effects, and so, um, wow, wouldn't it be cool? Or like when Hanuman grows large and, leaps across the ocean. Can you just imagine that with like that $100 million sort of Hollywood special effects behind it? Just would be amazing.
I'm actually always reading Ramayana, right? Like
Hmm.
just a few pages a day, but I'm in the the part where the final battle is happening right now. And we don't talk about that battle so much. In the Chalisa, it isn't referred to so much.
Mm,
But that battle is the battle of all battles.
mm,
And the battle between Indrajit and Lakshman
mm,
is so epic. Like it reading it, it just and what gets me is you see how powerful really Hanuman is in this chapter. And I don't know, I got to it and I just had forgotten how incredible this chapter is.
mm.
So don't forget about this. Is that Lanka Khan? Is that what it's called?
It's called Udakand.
Udakand.
Mm,
Udakand.
mm,
Nice.
yeah. Um, and Yeah, I got so excited seeing this billboard, because I wasn't expecting it. Because you're in Times Square, you're in Mayaville, right? Everything is just like so much glitz and so much glamour and so many people and all the advertisements, Pepsi, Coke, and Taco Bell, and all this kind of stuff. And then it was like, what?
Yeah.
Ramayana. Yes.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah, it was so cool. So I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I've always fantasized about it. I don't know. It's hard to tell. I mean, maybe it's even an animated film or something. I don't know, but I would love to see just
wow,
like,
with AI, probably amazing animation, like beyond what we've ever seen before, right?
yeah, yeah. But I would love to see like more like live action with like great actors, but with like
Ooh,
$200 million worth of special effects layered on top of it. Wouldn't that just be the greatest?
yeah. So you were also up in a Shivananda ashram
Yeah.
up. upstate New York.
Yeah, there's a little plan. Apparently, we're on the Shivananda circuit now, because we were just in the
Isn't that
Bahamas.
the last episode we talked? You were at Shivananda, Bahamas, right?
That's right. We had just gotten back, I think, from the Bahamas, and now we went up to this place called the Yoga Ranch, and it's a beautiful property, I don't know, a couple hundred acres or something in the Catskill Mountains, and it's just beautiful community, beautiful views. It's been there for over 50 some years or something. It was
Never heard of it, actually.
yeah, it's called the Yoga Ranch, and you know, Nina
And it's
Rao was there.
actually a Shivananda place, or
It's an
just
actual Shivananda place. Yeah, I mean it was founded by Vishnu Devananda, who is like one of Shivananda's main disciples, and it's full on. They do exactly what they do at the Bahamas. They have, and apparently all the what we're learning is all the Shivananda ashrams have basically the exact same day, the schedule even of the day. They have 6 to 8. They do a satsang and a morning sadhana, and then eight to 10 they do a yoga class. And by the way, I'm loving the Shivananda yoga classes. Um, have you done them?
I was trained in it.
Were you? Yeah, just I love the Shavasana, man. There's so many
After
Shavasana.
every pose, take Shavasana.
And they say that that's where the yoga happens is in the Shavasana.
Yeah.
So yeah, real slow pace, pranayama in every class, you know, uh, and shavasana after every pose. And, even in the final shavasana is like good 10 minutes every time. You gotta love it. Anyway, really enjoyed it. So did yoga every day, which was a huge boon for me. My body's not really used to that, but sure responds in a good way when I do the daily practice like that. And then they have I really dig they just do 2 meals a day. They do the 10 a.m. brunch and then a 6 p.m. dinner, which is really nice because I usually on retreat like you're packing on the packing on the pounds here, the 3 meals a day.
Big Indian meals a day. Oh
Oh
my
my God, I know. And so it's nice to have the 2 meals. I actually feel like I got in shape a little bit, whereas retreat often is the opposite.
God.
So anyway, yeah, it was beautiful. And then we went into, and one of the treats of the whole thing was that we got to go and spend a night with the Baum family. So our beloved brother Shiva Baum and his mother Radha, and Radha I've been wanting to meet for a few years now. She's been a huge part of my life and our lives on the Hanuman Chalisa sadhana for the last 5 years because she's been such a main a pillar of that satsang. And Radha was just just gave so much darshan to my Melissa and I because the whole time all she did was talk about Neem Karoli Baba stories. And Radha, for those of you that don't know Radha, she was with Neem Karoli Baba as part of that first wave of Americans that went over with Ram Das, and Krishna Das, and Raghu Marcus, and Parvati, and her ex-husband Mohan Baba, and they were all there with Neem Karoli Baba right in the early 70s. And she has so many amazing stories. It's just like to be there
I
with her.
love her stories. Her stories are just phenomenal.
And she just
Brings you right there.
and she fills up with his energy, and she like her hands start shaking, and you could just hear the love in her voice. It was magic. So that was a real highlight of the trip. But now we're home and back at it. More
Sun shining in Seattle.
the sun is shining today.
Nice.
Thank
It's
you for
summer.
asking. Yeah, it's summer. It is summer in Seattle. Woohoo!
You're still wearing a beanie though.
Well, it's a little chilly in the house.
Right on.
And I just shaved, so I have no protection up there whatsoever. So you'd be amazed at how much a little bit of like a ring of hair around the back of your head can actually help keep the heat in.
Really?
It's
Oh,
amazing.
that's
You'll
great.
know soon.
Oh, dude, I'm losing it by the day, man. I'm just like, you can't see on the screen, but right back here, it's all falling out. Oh,
That's why you roll that
what
jata
a
around.
what a humbling experience.
Oh well, I
That
don't
is
even
the
know.
most humbling thing. You know,
I went through it 30 years ago, bro.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Start seeing pictures of yourself from the back. It sucks.
Oh my God.
You
Well, welcome to
can't,
my
can't
world.
pretend to be a yogi on that one, man. It just sucks.
You-
And then I guess you gotta, it's just the
When
physical.
I made a deal with myself when I started losing my hair, I was like, when I have more head than hair, I'm shaving it all off. I'm just shaving it all off. I'm not gonna just have that little ring behind my head. I'm gonna just shave it all off. So there, I hit a point where I looked in the mirror. I was like, I got more head than hair now. It's time to go.
My kids make so much fun of me now.
You think?
Dad, your bald spot looks huge today.
That's sweet.
The
That
bald
is
spot they
that
call
is sweet. Your bald spot.
it, the bald spot.
Oh, so
Oh,
sweet, buddy. You have a cute bald.
sweet. I don't know.
I think you have a cute bald spot, bro.
You haven't seen it in a few months. It's getting a lot bigger.
I have a couple bald spots on my back.
Oh, I'm gonna start losing it there as well too.
No, no, that's the opposite, man. It stops growing here and it starts growing there. It's terrible. It's terrible. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
ah,
Yeah. Oh.
yeah,
Hey, should we jump into it?
let's do it.
Let's
Let's
do it.
do
So
it.
why don't
I
you,
I just have to say, I'm so happy every time we do this. It makes me so happy that
I
we can
know.
share this time together and just have the satsang. Really,
I know. Once a week doesn't even seem like enough.
yeah.
I, but
Who knows what the future will bring?
yeah, well, that's for sure.
Hmm.
Ah,
Right.
opening
Let's do
prayers.
it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Om Akandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who revealed to me the supreme truth, which is unfragmented, infinite, timeless divinity, and which pervades the entire universe.
Jnanatimirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Salutations to the Guru who opened my eyes, which had been blinded by the darkness of ignorance, by applying the divine ointment of self knowledge.
Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Guru is the creator, sustainer, and the destroyer. Guru is directly the supreme spirit, both manifest reality and the absolute. My reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the heart of all beings as the true self.
Hari Om. Bolo Shri Sat Gurudev Bhagwan Ki.
Jai,
Shri Baba Neem Karoli Santa Maharaj Ki.
Jai. Hmm.
Hmm.
All right. So,
Ah.
Let's look at a new chopai from the Hanuman Chalisa. I like to explore a little bit of Tulsi Das's prayer in each one of our episodes here. And today we are coming up to the seventh line, the seventh chopai, which translates as supremely wise, virtuous, and clever. You are ever intent on Ram's work. And the Avadi sounds like this: Vidyavana Guni Ati Chatura Rama Kaja Karibe Ko Atura. So the translation once again: supremely wise, virtuous, and clever, you are ever intent on Ram's work. All right, so brother Govindas, why don't you open up the conversation with some reflections on this?
Hmm. Well, first we get, again, in this opening, these first 8 lines of the Chalisa, we're getting a description of Hanuman and his qualities. And here, Vidyavan, full of knowledge, full of wisdom. Hanuman is all knowing. He not only knows about things of the material world, whether it's Ayurveda or martial arts or Jyotish, astrology, but Hanuman also knows the self. He knows who he truly is. And he knows his right relationship with God, which, is a big part here. I'm staying at this Hare Krishna ashram here in Govardhaniko village, and something that they speak about a lot in this right relationship to Krishna, but I think you can extend that on all levels within bhakti, is that our right relationship to the divine is that we are a loving servant of the divine. And that's what Hanuman knows himself to be. And that's what Hanuman's sole purpose is, to serve Lord Ram in his mission to defeat Ravana. So Hanuman has the spiritual knowledge as well too. Then we get these other 2 words, Guni Atichatura. Guni being he's full of virtues. And as we heard in line 1, Jaya Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagara, ocean of virtue and wisdom. And when I think of, Guni Atichatura, Guni being virtuous, he's honest, he's sincere, he's truthful, he's kind, he's respectful. And again, all of this for us to use Hanuman as an archetype and a being that we can model our lives after. He's so relatable for us. And I love this last part, this chatura.
Mhm.
And this is what makes Hanuman, obviously, one of the many things that makes Hanuman so special, is that he's clever, is that he knows how to use his knowledge to, in the right moment, at the right time, to serve Lord Ram and Mother Sita in the best of ways. And there's so many examples, of course, in Ramayana. But this cleverness, it's like he's intelligent, he's incredibly intelligent. But like that cleverness, for me, I think of the word like street smart.
Hmm.
right? Like
Hmm.
he knows how to work that in great intelligence and wisdom and knowledge that he's got in the situations he finds himself
Hmm.
in. And then we love this next part. Rama Kaja, Karibeko Atura. He just his whole life and incarnation is just to do Ram's work, to be an instrument. And I think this again for us as humans and as bhaktas and as souls living in a body in this material world, that we too can make the main focus of our life Ramakaja, to do Ram's work, to do God's work, to serve the highest good in each and every moment. So this is, I think, a good starting point. How about you? Any first thoughts, and we can start to riff on this stuff.
Yeah, well, I think thinking about this a lot last week or two. Came up in a workshop at the Shivananda ashram. This this idea of gyan and bhakti being so inseparable, and how important it is to have, we obviously know how much bhakti Hanuman has, right? I mean, everyone talks about how much bhakti Hanuman has, and that's really shows up in the second part of this line. Like he's always wants to just serve Ram. Just he's so devoted to Ram. He loves Ram so much. And everybody talks about Hanuman being the quintessential bhakta. But Tulsidas has now already told us twice, not only twice, really three times, because he said that Hanuman is wise, you know, um, twice. He talked about his gyan in the first line, and now he's talking about it here again, using this slightly different word of vidya. Um, but he's still talking about Hanuman's wisdom and his intelligence. And then he even says that Hanuman basically can give us that as well, right? In the opening Doha, because we say, Hanuman, please grant me the strength, the wisdom, and the intelligence to overcome these, my shortcomings and sufferings. So Hanuman not only has the gyan and the wisdom and the intelligence, but he can bestow it as well. And I think the reason why I think this is such an important concept to remember is ultimately like, well, as my teacher Vanamali always used to like to say, that bhakti without gyan is fundamentalism. Meaning, like, if you're like, for example, Christianity on some levels, because it doesn't have the gyan, the yogic wisdom of sabek, which is that it's all one, you know, a fundamentalist Christian will say, oh, Jesus is the only way. There's only one way. And the the yogi, the bhakti yogi with the gyan of sabek, which is that it's all one, will say Jesus is a way, not the only way. And even a Hanuman lover like myself will say Hanuman is my way. But your way might be Shiva. Your way might be Jesus. You have so many, so many, so many options. And so Tulsidas just really wants to make sure that we know that Hanuman knows, that Hanuman has the gyan, he has that wisdom. And ultimately, I think that this is one of the key pieces of yogic wisdom is sabek. Like the Vedas said, God is one, but the wise men use different words to describe this. So, one truth, many, many names. And uh, I think it's really interesting and quite potent to observe that Tulsi Das doesn't want us to just dive into pure bhakti without the gyan. And there's actually a wonderful moment near it's somewhere in the Sri Bhagavatam Purana near the end of Krishna's life where he sends Uddhava, who's one of his main really good friend and devotees. And there's actually a Gita called the Uddhava Gita, which is another story of Krishna telling, the answers of life to his friend Uddhava. But Uddhava was too jnani. It was all about the gyan and the spiritual knowledge and all about the scriptures and all about this stuff. And he said, you need more bhakti. He said, but there's also a bunch of my devotees called the gopis, and they need some of your gyan because they are pure bhakti. So he sent Uddhava to go and visit the gopis in Vrindavan and to share his gyan and to learn from them the bhakti. And I think this is one of the reasons why I think to myself when I'm doing studying scriptures and everything, it's like it's not separate. We can't, I think it's so easy for us to compartmentalize things. Studying scriptures is a bhakti practice. Does that kind of make sense? Is that
Of course. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
that we that we're doing it like we're doing it so our love for God can be even more pure. So we
But
can
the attraction to the scripture in and of itself is just because of your devotion and your love for whether that's Hanuman, Ram, or Krishna,
Mm. Or just the truth.
or the truth, of course.
From a total jnani point of view, it's like I just want to be in union with the truth.
But I like that was like if you are reading that, that is devotion.
Mm.
But what comes from it is gyan, which then it's like this loop that just keeps recharging you from gyan to bhakti, to gyan to bhakti, to gyan
Mm.
to bhakti, and they both feed each other and charge your battery.
And you know what the inevitable result of this is, which is like you can see here at the end of this line, the inevitable result of this loop of Gyan Bhakti, Gyan Bhakti, Gyan Bhakti is
Yeah,
you want to be of
seva,
you want to be of service. You
seva.
can't you can't help it. You want to serve and take care of people, and you want to offer seva, and you want to do karma yoga, and you
Yeah.
can't help it. And then it becomes this beautiful, triangle of devotion and love and service and knowledge and truth.
And, and then that fourth path, because we're talking about three of the four main paths of yoga,
Mm.
bhakti, jnana, and and karma yoga. But then the fourth, the raja yoga, fits right in there as well too, because that's all about controlling your mind,
Mm.
right? And controlling and yamas and niyamas, ashtanga path that is a part of this this raja yoga, which is controlling how you relate within yourself and how you relate to the external world, the don'ts and the do's, sometimes yamas and niyamas are called, and then the importance of your energy through breathing, the importance of doing asanas and taking care of your body, and then of course meditation and absorption, and of course, so the four main yogas that are really taught in the Gita, and of course Yoga Sutra, they all just weave together so holistically and so
Yeah,
beautifully.
that's right.
But I think bhakti is
What, the best?
oh, Krishna says it, I think.
I
Those that
think
come to
I
him
think he does too.
and
But
love, like,
I think what I really keep coming back to, is that you get to like dive a little deeper into the one that you love the most, but that they're all important. And they actually, you can't leave any of them out. You know what I've noticed too is like how oftentimes, I'll meet a yoga teacher and they've just been through yoga teacher training, or if I've gone to go and teach bhakti workshops at yoga teacher trainings, and I'll ask them about the sutras and did you do the yamas and the niyamas? Oh, of course we did the yamas and the niyamas and that. And I'll always say, well, so what do you think about Ishvara Pranidhan? And they always get a lot of times, I should say, not all the time.
who?
Yeah, Ishvara what? And by the way, if you don't know what it is, Ishvara Pranidhan is it's a final niyama, and it basically means surrender to God. So even in the Raja Yoga system, which is very mental and all geared towards samadhi and meditation, um, and the controlling of the mind and the senses, as you were just describing, but even that system, even Patanjali says, like, before you even hit your mat, because unlike the 9 modes of bhakti, the Raja Yoga is pretty systematic in the sense that it's kind of like, yeah, step one, step two, step three, finally leading you to step eight, which is the, samadhi. Um, and, and it feels like that one gets skipped over a lot. It's really easy for yogis, especially in the West, who just really want to get to the asana and really want to get to the pranayama, Um, and there's a famous quote from Neem Karoli Baba, a conversation with Ram Dass, and he said to Ram Dass one day, he said, "Nobody does yoga anymore." And Ram Dass said, "Well, nobody talking about it. No, yoga is very popular. It's getting more and more popular in the West, and lots of people do yoga." And he says they don't do the yamas and the niyamas. They just skip right to the asana. And then I've noticed that even if people go, "Oh yeah, himsa, sure, yeah, satya, tell the truth, don't hurt people," they get some of the first ones, you know, and then they skip the brahmacharya one because they don't understand that one. It's tough, and
We spent hours on that one this
yeah,
week. That's
it,
the best one to talk about right
it's a great
there.
one.
That's the best one.
It's a great one. Brahmacharya, by the way, is oftentimes mistranslated as, well, it can mean celibacy. And probably in the most austere yogic perspective, it does mean celibacy. But we, as householders, who want to practice yoga, we have to think about it differently. And I don't know what you like to call it, but I like to call it the correct use of sexual energy.
I talk about it in the same way that I would say it the constructive use of sexual energy versus the destructive use of sexual energy.
Nice.
And we had so many great talks, honestly, hours we spent on this one this week. And for householders to turn the faucet off completely, it doesn't
Nice
work.
metaphor.
Not even householders, for anybody
Yeah.
to turn the faucet off, it doesn't work. Look at, from the Hare Krishnas
Mm.
to
So
the
many examples.
churches to the synagogues to you know, the yogis, think of all the swamis, it
Oh,
doesn't work. It
all
doesn't
the
work.
stories of the Yogi Bhajan all the way down.
Yes. So, but then for householders, I mean, it's just such a primal part of our being,
Mm.
sexual energy. And we live in this culture that is just like on steroids, sex, sex, sex. Everywhere you look, you open Instagram, it's trying to get you to get hooked on something through sex, billboards everywhere, sex, sex, sex. So it's a really tough one for us Westerners. But I think if we can use our sexual energy responsibly and not just turn the faucet off, I think that is the way to approach
Mm.
brahmacharya.
Yeah.
But that's not easy, you
No.
know. That's not easy.
Is Hanuman a brahmachari?
Hanuman is a brahmachari, but then I've heard somewhere that Hanuman was married.
I know I have never I've heard that, but I have never read that or seen that like in any official capacity. I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, no, Hanuman was married," but I've never seen any. Have you seen any like
I
any
saw something
stories?
6 months ago, but I,
Don't
you know,
remember.
kind of came and went. I should have paid more attention to it. But for all intents and purposes, Hanuman's a brahmachari,
Yeah.
he's, and I think, yeah, I've heard somebody even say to me once that because you're a Hanuman devotee, you need to be celibate.
Yeah, right.
And I
And
said, whoa, whoa, whoa. No. Don't
Well,
lay
it's just,
that trip on
hey,
me.
hey, this reminds me of because it'd be like, so who do you love more, Hanuman or your wife? Because I was thinking of that story when Tulsi Das was young, and his
Yeah.
wife was visiting his young wife was visiting his her uncle or something, and it was across this big river, and it was with the really strong current and everything. And Tulsidas, he wanted to see her so bad that he swam across, risked his life swimming across this river. And when he climbed in his wife's window or whatever, she scolded him and said, "If you loved God as much as you loved my body, you would be enlightened by now." And Tulsidas apparently took it pretty seriously, and he then became brahmachari and left his wife and went off and took sannyas and did the whole thing and became a great saint and everything. And so she was right, but I don't know if that's what she was actually hoping for. I wonder if she was trying to get rid of him.
An interesting story, probably 25 years ago when Krishna Das first started coming to California, doing public kirtans, and everything was much, much smaller than it is now. I was able to spend a bit of personal time with them. He would pick me up and we'd go to his kirtan together. And I was in my 20s and I was really, really into yoga and learning everything. And I'm brahmacharya now. And I was learning the yamas and niyamas, and I thought that I had to be brahmachari to be practicing yoga. And I told him this. And he got so pissed at me. He was like, who the fuck do you think you are? You're not brahmachari. You know, get off your holy trip. That's, you need to start, basically saying in having sex, you learn so much about yourself and engaging that. He wasn't telling me go have sex, but get off that trip. Stop trying to be spiritual and just enter worldly relationships and enjoy look, the most beautiful, one of the most, if not the most beautiful thing is when you engage in that with someone that you care so deeply about. So, and I think that's what he was telling me. And you learn so much about it, but he got so mad at me just
Wow.
for even putting that mask on, and it really taught me a lot.
Well, what you
So
were just describing too, though, is that that's that responsible use, though, right? I mean, like engaging in that with that person that means so much to you, that you love so much, and that loves you back, and all that. That's that's that and that has the potential to take you as far as you want to go. As that can even be your object of devotion, but only if it's you know if it's if it's coming from a responsible place in your heart. And I think that's a really critical thing for anybody to learn, but especially yogis who want to walk the path, to be able to have that responsible use of that.
yeah, and I think, this is the beauty of yoga as a whole, is that it can help us approach, we don't hear that in our culture. We don't get those messages in our culture. We're being, slammed by this other energy, and especially with the porn stuff that's out there now, and
Yes.
how crazy it is. So I think for me, those messages of sexual responsibility, I think were incredibly, incredibly helpful. So
What's really interesting too, though, is that the some of it's gotten so mixed up. Have you noticed this kind of trend sometimes, like on social media? There'll be like a woman or even a man will want to will have some really in-depth like emotional thing that they want to share, and they'll write that out in the caption, but the picture will be incredibly sexy. It'll just be like and because they want you to click on it, I guess, right? So they're still like using that as like the bait. What they really want to do is share some deep emotional, sometimes even like a spiritual teaching or something. But the picture is them posing in a very, almost nude kind of sexual way.
got to be careful, because that'll start showing up on your algorithms. And then
Oh,
if
right.
your
Yeah.
if your wife checks your phone, you're in big trouble. And on your search, that starts showing up everywhere.
Oh,
You got to
oh
be
my
real
God. Yeah, my
careful.
suggested real thing is I got to put a password on that somehow. Oh my gosh. No, I just
Uh,
talk about stuff in my feed, just from friends or whatever, or people that I follow, to be like,
so
whoa.
check this out. What do you think about this? I saw a girl on Instagram, and she was wearing a t-shirt. It said, meditate, then masturbate.
What?
Yoga teacher. Meditate, then masturbate.
Did she elaborate on that at all in the
No, she was just wearing the t-shirt while
oh.
she was talking about spiritual stuff.
Well, I mean, it seems a little distracting. Let's just put it that way. I'm not gonna flip. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna talk about any kind of moral issue here of masturbation. Uh, you know, I'm not going to stand in judgment of one way or the other, or even stand in judgment of her wanting to wear that shirt. Or maybe it is even a legitimate spiritual path. Um, but it feels a little distracting. Like if you really want to say something to me, maybe if you want to talk about meditating and masturbating, that'd be a good shirt. But if you want to talk about anything else, if you're wearing a shirt that says masturbation on it, I'm sorry, but I got a hard time. I got a hard time concentrating. How about you? How about you? You
Oh my
find,
gosh. It just, I think it's a snapshot of the world we're in right now. And um, just like however people can get attention, and like stuff like that, I think can piss off Indians. And I think that's where the misappropriation stuff comes from. And so, it is what it is. I'm not one to pass judgment on anyone or anything, but it
Maybe listen to this.
gave me a good laugh, man.
Maybe it has nothing. They have maybe it's just her two favorite things.
I think so. I think that's why she wore that
I
shirt.
mean, maybe it's not like do this, then this. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just like I'm just making a list of my favorite things, and these are my
I mean,
top
I
two.
think if she would have said masturbate, then meditate, I probably would have felt a little different about
Well, that I mean, I definitely think that it would be better to meditate and then masturbate because I feel like it maybe be because there's this
it.
thing in yoga called ojas or ojas,
Gosh, oh gosh.
ojas, which is uh ojas is how they say it in Mexico. Okay,
I was just about to say, it sounds like you're speaking Spanish.
I've just been hanging around with a lot of Spanish speaking people, okay, over the last week. So ojas, otherwise known as hojas
Oh gosh.
in, in Espanol. Ojas is like the energy that one can, it's like it's the sexual energy. And if one retains it, like a great yogi, a brahmachari, the idea of brahmacharya is that you, by sustaining that energy, you can use it for your yogic practices. And hypothetically, if you build up enough of that, then you can actually cause the kundalini to rise or something like that, or become enlightened, or all those things that I have absolutely no idea about. But I mean, you can't meditate too much. But, ladies and gentlemen, but warning, you can masturbate too much. So, anyway.
Well, I think as well too, maybe for women to have that, it's very liberating because women have been repressed, and especially women's sexuality, especially masturbation for women, to have a t-shirt like that, possibly there's something liberating about that. And sure is shocking though, to
It is
see.
shocking. I think mostly it's just like, what is the why together? Why, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why these two things together? But maybe, I don't know. I guess yoga is experiential. So
Yeah.
having not directly engaged in that practice, I can't really speak to it.
Hey,
Meaning,
I was thinking after we're talking about sex, you want to have some LSD?
hey, you know what? Yeah. I,
People might get
how
the
did
wrong
we?
idea
I
about this
apologize to
podcast.
everybody out there that's offended by the word masturbation because we said it like 82 times. So, oh gosh. Hey, we're just keeping it real, everybody. We're just keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Uh,
You
and
want to
certainly
hit?
but let's yeah, I'm ready to take a hit or two of LSD. What do you say?
I'm definitely ready. I've been taking hits all day, but I'm ready for you. Can't OD on this kind of LSD.
Yeah, this kind of LSD, the OG LSD, is is really it's what we've actually been talking about already, but it's the essence of the Love Everyone podcast, isn't it? It's
Mm.
love, service, and devotion. LSD, baby. Let's take a hit.
Let's take a hit. That's why we call it
Okay.
daily hit of LSD, of love, service, and devotion. Okay, this is a great quote from our guru, Neem Karoli Baba. And he says, "It is not necessary to meet your guru on the physical plane. The guru is not external." Let me say it one more time. It is not necessary to meet your guru on the physical plane. The guru is not external.
Hmm.
I don't know. Why don't you go for it? Let's try to unlock this one.
Well, I think it's really interesting I knew we were going to take this hit and we did our opening prayers, right? And we do some lines from the Guru Stotram. And then I was reading the translation to the third part, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. And it says, my reverential salutations to the glorious Guru who resides in the hearts of all beings as the true self. That this is the Satguru, this is the true Guru. And so I was thinking to myself, how, and as we were talking about Gyan, because this is another really important piece of yogic wisdom that I think often times really misunderstood, is that don't think we think of the guru as an external person that we've got to meet, and that's how we are going to become enlightened, is we're going to have this external guide, this person that's going to say, do this, do that, do this, don't do that. Or maybe they're just going to hit us on the forehead and give us a Shakti pot, and boom, we're going to be, awake and enlightened. And uh, and here from this ancient prayer of the Guru Stotram, you know, we're hearing the Gyan, which is the wisdom, which is that no, the Guru is inside everyone, and it's the true nature, and it's our true self, and that this is who we're really looking for. This is where all of our practices are taking us, and if we do have the fortune of meeting a guru in the external plane, which I don't feel any. I used to feel disappointed that I didn't get to meet the guru in the physical plane. Um, but now I just feel grateful that I met the guru at all in any plane, and to be able to say Neem Karoli Baba is my guru and to have the relationship that I have with him. But what I was saying, and I got sidetracked there a little bit, is that if you do meet an external guru, if that guru points you any direction other than inside to your own heart, then they're probably not a real guru, and they actually have their own kind of agenda going on, and maybe you should beware. So I really love this quote, and this was the quote. This was the line that actually gave me permission to really embrace Neem Karoli Baba, because I resisted for many years. In fact, I think I may have told you this story, Govindas, and maybe I've even told it here. But I remember when I first started doing kirtan, we didn't know there was a scene at all. We thought it was like Krishna Das and like us, doing kirtan. Up here in Seattle, there was really hardly anything going on. And I started doing some research online, and I found your website. And now Govindas and I knew each other way back when Govindas first moved to LA, and I was living there too. And he you weren't even Govindas at the time. And I remember finding your website, and there you were, Govindas and Radha, it said, and Bhakti Yoga Shala. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's Ira from all those years ago. Now he's Govindas, and wow, look, he sings kirtan. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And then I read your bio, and it talked about your guru, and I had read Ram Dass and I'd read Krishna Das, and I'd been doing all that studying, so I knew who Neem Karoli Baba was, and I was a little shocked to hear you say that Neem Karoli Baba was your guru. And I was a little upset even. I was kind of like, who is Ira, who is Govindas to say that this guy is his guru, because he's never even met him, because he was like born like the same year that Neem Karoli Baba left his body. And I remember I had a big conversation with a good friend of mine, and about it, And it wasn't until I read that quote and I kept having more experiences of visions and dreams and things of Neem Karoli Baba. And I read that quote that you just, our hit of the day today. And it was a very powerful hit for me at that time because it was the doorway that I was like, oh, I get it. Now I understand what Govindas was talking about. And now I understand that I don't need to meet Neem Karoli Baba in the flesh to have this relationship.
Mm.
What is that? How does that make you feel when I tell you that I was upset at reading your bio?
It doesn't surprise me at all, knowing who you were back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I bet you it's pissed off a lot of people.
Mm.
You know, if you don't know, you don't know. And yeah, being here at Govardhan Eco Village, I'm just seeing it's this, the ISKCON path and the Hare Krishna path, it's an institution. It's a huge institution. And from, you know, not only Prabhupada, but even way, 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 way prior, apparently all the way back to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, it's an unbroken succession.
Mm.
And so people's gurus are informed. They have a human guru that they have a relationship with and that they have get guidance from and that they speak to and that they bring their challenges to and troubles to, and the guru takes the time and speaks to them, at least in the most ideal situation, but our path is so different. It's not an institution at all. Think about Maharaji's favorite word was Jao, get lost, get out of here. You've gotten enough. Go put it into action in the world. He didn't want us to escape from the. Got to go into the world and try it on and work it out. So, I've been reflecting on that a lot here. And look, the institution has a beautiful quality to it. I've learned more about ISKCON and the Hare Krishna lineage in the last 12 days that I've been here than I have in the last 30 years. And because the teacher that I've been co-leading this training with is of that lineage, and she's been doing a lot of lectures and Bhagavad Gita teachings and the Vedic planetary systems, and you know I still have a lot of trouble with the view that Krishna is, sits above Shiva and above Brahma in the planetary system.
Mhm.
For me, I feel like Sabek, it's all one. That's what I believe Maharaji gives us. Anyways, beyond that, um, and the talk of demigods, 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 all this stuff, and that Shiva is actually considered a demigod in this particular path. So some things, trigger me a bit, but I've
Mahadev?
Mahadev, yes, Mahadev is considered a demigod. But in all saying that, I've seen so much beauty in this
Mm.
path and so much kindness, and that everybody that I meet and cross paths with, they're just, in their heart and just say, Hare Krishna, and they're super, super humble. So many brahmacharyas living here. And this place has been started by um, Radhanath Swami, who is the head guru here, who
Mhm.
is, I think we could consider him a saintly being truly in the world right now with these, the incredible seva he's doing.
Mhm.
But our lineage is so completely different. Is that we don't need, I mean, there's many people, and I haven't heard that trip here at all, But many people say, you know, you need a guru in the physical world that you can have face-to-face interaction with and get, you know, three-dimensional communication with.
Mm. You
People
know,
say that.
I hear that, and I think I
But
think
then here's a siddha, here's someone that is, you know, recognized as one of the great siddhas saying, as clear can be said, you don't need to meet your guru on the physical plane.
well, I love
Guru is
this.
not external.
The guru's not external. So what is the guru then, right? What is the guru if it's not external? So it's an energy, right? Or it's a
I think it's a quality of consciousness. I think it's
quality
the
of consciousness.
divine consciousness of love and truth and wisdom that's
Hmm.
been streaming through the universe that is God because it's Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva.
Satchitananda, right?
Satchitananda, and it shows up in certain people. They have done so much purification
Hmm.
and so much austerity that they embody this consciousness so strongly that we can call them guru.
Yeah, I think this external guru, right? So oftentimes gets like just simplified as like some like teacher. And I think what you're saying is really, really important is that for somebody to be an external guru, they have to embody this energy to the point um, that there's no mistake about who they are. Do you know? And I think that's why it's so challenging for me. It would be very challenging for me, I think, to find a physical guru in the physical plane, like a person, because because to embody that to that point that there's no question is very challenging. You were even describing earlier when we were talking about brahmachari and just about these great yogis and stuff who still struggle with like turning the faucet off all the way, and then they do things that are out of alignment with their position and with their sort of guru-ness, their leader-ness, because not all yoga teachers or even great leaders of yoga movements even remotely qualify for this full embodiment of this guru energy because they're just not that pure.
Very, very few.
Very few, very few. And so
Very, very.
if there's so few, it's like, well, what about, then that means that most of us aren't going to meet a guru in the physical plane because there are,
Especially in the West. Especially in the West.
right, unless we're just completely in India and imbibing in the Dharma all day long and they're going on tirthas and, going on and yatras to visit the great sites and, you know, all of this kind of lifestyle that maybe you could lead you to that one pure being that you could consider a guru. But for the rest of us, for most of us, like if we wait for that, you know, if we wait for that, we're gonna be lost. And so to know that we can pursue that guru energy or that guru consciousness, as you described it, um, without waiting to meet that physical form. Um, I don't
And
gives
I
me.
think you going back to what you said, it's like it's in the Sadguru is in our hearts, and the true bona fide gurus will point us back to our own heart, to the
Mm,
truth that is who we are. And yeah,
mm,
so we continue just to quiet down and tune in, and that's where the guru dwells,
mm.
right?
You hear those simplistic phrases of like, we have all the answers we need within, but that's the truth.
It's the truth.
Truth. And we think, oh, well, that's just easy thing to say. It is an easy thing to say. It's a really hard thing to tune into. But
But the external guru is so important as well too, because the external guru is the one that removes the darkness. Well, that's the internal guru as well, but we wouldn't know how to find the internal guru without the external guru, because the external guru gives us the practices and the teaching and the gyan and the knowledge so that we can.
Well, okay, so this is good. Because there's this, there's the Sat Guru, right? Which is this guru consciousness that we've been talking about. But then maybe we're talking about the Upaguru, right? Which are our teachers, because we can't expect all those teachers who are going to give us those practices. Because I know that all my teachers who've given me the practices that I have, none of them are what I would consider the Sat Guru. Many of them are very high beings or very, practiced yogis who have a lot to offer. But the Upaguru kind of relates to more like all the teachers in our life, and we can even think of our children as an Upaguru, right? We can think of our dog as an Upaguru. We can think of our family as an Upaguru. We can think of all of our yoga teachers that we like to go and hear their talks and take their classes. We can think of them all as the Upaguru. But that Satguru, so this is where all these practices can lead us, but where are they all going to lead us? Whether it's a Satguru in physical form, like a Siddha, like Maharaji, or whether it's just all of our teachers that are giving us the practices that are going to lead us there. They're all going to lead us to the same place if they're authentic. Um, and that is, as we're saying, is back to your own heart.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai
Jai
Guru
Guru.
Dev.
So I feel like I got to wrap this up. I got
We
to be
got
up
to
at
do it. We could talk
yeah.
about the Guru for many
Got
hours, many hours.
sunrise sadhana, 5 a.m. tomorrow. So it's that time. But what a
Nice.
beautiful, beautiful session, brother. I hope you all
Thank you.
enjoyed this one. I know I sure did.
Are we gonna call this one? What do you? Never mind.
Meditate.
Meditation.
The two M's?
The two M's. The two M's of spiritual devotion. The two M's of. Well, anyway, let's move on.
How about this one? Don't be attached to the bald spot. I had tears like a few times laughing so
Don't
hard.
be attached to the bald spot.
Don't be so vain.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Well, I'm not attached to my bald spot at all, but I've had 30 years of practice. So if you need, I'm here for spiritual counseling.
you
Govind.
will be my guru.
I
You will
can be
be
your
my...
your baldness guru.
All right.
You know
Let
what?
us.
Truly though, I'm not enlightened. I still would love a good head of hair. I got to be honest with y'all, folks. I would give anything.
Next session, you got to show up with a wig
I
and say,
got.
materialized it.
I would give anything for a good head of hair. Oh my gosh.
Really give anything?
Not anything, but I mean, I would, I would, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. What would I do? I don't know. I'll come up with like a dollar amount next time. Um,
All right. All right.
okay, so let's do our closing prayers. Oh, so everybody, thanks for being here. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.
May all beings, including ourselves, be happy, be well, and be free from suffering. May all of our thoughts, may all of our words, may all of our actions in some way contribute to that happiness, that well-being, and that freedom from suffering for all. including ourselves, including ourselves, including ourselves.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Tat Sat.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. What a beautiful, beautiful blessing it is that we can all be together. Love everyone, serve everyone, remember God. Thank you. All glories, all glories, all glories to the satsang and the Satguru.
Shri 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 Neem Karoli Baba Sant Maharaj Ki.
Hey. Hey. See you next time.
See you next time, everybody, on the Love Everyone podcast. We love you. Take care of yourself. Keep it light. Ram Ram.
Ram Ram. Be well.